Hello, everyone. This is Dale. I just wanted to take a few minutes to say hello and just highlight a couple of things. We haven't met, of course, in quite some time, and I haven't really done a recording for a while. So you'll notice in the July's newsletter, which is unusual. We don't usually have a newsletter in the off months for the 9th District, but Kendall published one, and I so appreciate that, especially during this time where we're unable to meet in person. But I included in this month's newsletter the preamble to the Constitution of the American Legion, of course, but I put in that addition, or I asked Kendall to, with the preamble explained. So I was hoping that, or encouraging, to please think about each clause and how the 9th District, your post, you, me, us, can be more Legion by looking at that expanded definition or expanded reading of each of those clauses. I think it's very powerful. The visibility and being on message, I feel, will grow membership. So one of the hard things for any organization or business for that matter is when you're trying to engage folks, what do you talk about? And I know it's hard just to go up to someone to, even if they are a veteran, it's not easy just to go and introduce oneself to somebody. But it's something that we want to practice. It's a skill that can be learned, and we could do that. And then, of course, as the membership grows, our voice and influence grows, and that's huge. So currently, we ended the year at like 2,700. So we were down for this year. We were like at 92 point something percent, almost 93%. But we just fight this battle with the folks that we got. So I'll tell you one thing that I feel strongly about is that the single most important thing that we can all do today is fly the U.S. flag. It's a simple statement, but it's profound in meaning and in power, actually. It's very powerful to go down a street and see the American flag flying, a business area too, and so forth. Well, I'm preaching to the choir, right? I mean, you know what I'm talking about. So I also included in the newsletter for this month the front cover, anyway, of the American Legion program of Get Out the Vote. And as I said, that Get Out the Vote has been around for 100 years. It's been since 1920. None of this stuff is new. It's just that, it gets put on a shelf somewhat by a lot of us because people are busy, whatever. There's a million reasons. But we've got resources, and especially at such a time as this, to where we as American Legionnaires need to be more visible. And this is something that we could do readily. We're the 1%. We're the 1%. I don't know how many what kind of representation we have in Congress right now. I don't know how many veterans. I know there's some in there, but the vast population there's only like 1% or less than a percentage. It's not much more either way of the whole population of the United States of America that are veterans. Well, what we can do, that doesn't mean that the other 99% are not patriotic and support us, but what we can do is ask for help. And I think the best thing that we can do to ask for help is to ask our neighbors to fly their flag, put out the U.S. flag, and of course remind those that have a tattered flag to go ahead and change it. The Get Out the Vote manual, by the way, is online. It's free. There's a free download. It's at legion.org publications, and it tells you what you can and can't do. Well, one of the things that I saw that was appealing to me, it's on page 3 of the booklet of the guide, and it's canvassing. It says here where to begin, and they've got one sub-paragraph here, or a part it talks about schools, and then another is canvassing, and then it's pretty flexible, really. So what, in order to get this thing started, what they really emphasize is getting some like-minded folks together on a committee and think strategically to go ahead and push the Get Out the Vote program out into the community. But canvassing, I thought, was pretty good. It reads here briefly, for a Get Out the Vote program to be effective, it needs the personal contact with potential voters to stir registration interest and to get the electorate to the polls. If the law permits, volunteers to act as deputy registrars or to distribute applications for mail registration, this committee can bring registration directly to the citizens. Plan this carefully, use well-trained and motivated volunteers, and secure the necessary permission and assistance from elected officials. Personal contact can be made by going door to door, by phone, through the mail or email, or with a booth or registration table at public places, and at your own American Legion post meeting or at meetings or activities of other groups and organizations. So that opens the door wide open for us just to go get involved. Just go out there and get out there and get involved and ask folks if they're registered to vote. We can't endorse anybody, and that's fine, but the voting record, from what I understand, is dismal in the whole nation. And so we need to go ahead and have a much larger presence in the community as American Legionnaires, as American citizens, to do the right thing. And I believe when we fly the flag and we talk, we just be Legion, we fly the flag, we don't have to explain ourselves to anyone. We are Americans, and we should fly the colors. So one of the things that I had brought up to our adjutant, Pete Hurt, I'd like to do something that we could all do locally, wherever you're at. We got 22 American Legion posts, and we're spread over a pretty good geographical area. And everybody's doing something, and everybody's doing an awesome job. They're doing what you can with what you have, and it's effective. It's great. So what I'm looking for, though, what I would suggest, what I'd like to solicit here, is something that I would just call like Walk With Us, taking a short walk from the post or from one place to another at a focal point to where we can be seen in public and maybe do something. I had brought it up, we're on the northwest side of Chicago, and that's where Billy Caldwell Post 806, my home post, is. And then we're active at the local police district. And so I would like to go ahead and to do a short walk, be seen in the community, and do a flag presentation at the police district. And it doesn't have to be a big formal thing. It can be as fancy as you want. But what I'm thinking is to give these guys and gals a flag to fly at home, and let them know that it's part of our preamble. It's what we promised to is to support our public police, the people to maintain law and order. So anyway, we can look into that more. It's just an idea. One of the things too is a talking point, just in general. When you're out just talking, I didn't realize this, but if you would please, I know that some of this reading of the newsletter gets a little dry and boring. But that said, look at that last part of the explanation of the preamble of the and it is where it's talking about where we work with the pledged for mutual helpfulness. The thing that I didn't realize, but if you read on that last page there, it talks about how during the Great Depression that President Roosevelt and his folks looked at the model from the American Legion as a way to take care of the general population of the United States. Hence, it was borrowed from the American Legion, what we were already doing with our veterans, to go ahead and basically give the idea for Social Security. So, I mean, this is a big deal. The American Legion has got history that's just absolutely amazing. And anyway, that said, just want to go ahead and probably close with two other points. I guess I would like to focus on the 9th District with all of the district's talents, different personalities, and just your sphere of influence where you're at. Let's think strategically and continue doing what we're doing, but let's just take it up a notch if we possibly could, just by getting out with whomever we can, however we can. You know, what I would love to see is you know as well as I do that the American Legion has got somewhat of an image issue. This conflict between, or what I should say, we're on the same page in some sense with our younger veterans and not in some other areas. So it boils down to, in a big way, is image. We need to fix our image. We need to be out there and doing what we do as veterans. We don't have to go ahead and pretend that we're 20 years old just getting out of the service and we're just full of just all this energy and so forth. We are veterans, and we are part of a veteran civics organization, of veteran service organizations, and one of our focuses is on civics, and it takes wisdom. It takes a lot of things that doesn't come that quickly. So that said, our mentor role is huge. However, we need to have that image of our more mature veterans, maybe just spruced up a little bit. I'll just leave it at that, okay? So our image is huge. We're not just a smoky bar room anymore. We've got all kinds of different models for our posts. And there's a lot more to it. But there's something for everybody, the whole family with the American Legion. Secondly, the message. What's our message? We have our message, it's in our preamble. That's very clear. And then with this, the message explained, that goes on in great detail. And so that gives us the ammunition. Fly our flag, spruce up our image as that we want to participate in this community. As I said in the newsletter, your American Legion posts, our American Legion posts are just as important as any school is or any church is. And we see that today. We see that with all the nonsense that's going on with all this civil unrest. This is craziness. And we have got to go ahead, I believe, is to promote patriotism, that we're the good guys. We did this the right way, and it's in writing, and they did it the right way 100 years ago. So the message is very, very important. And lastly is duty. We need to do this because we need to do it. We all took oaths when we got sworn into the military service, and that didn't go away once we got out. We still promised to defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and et cetera. And you look at what we swore to do when we were in the service, and we look at what we swear to do each and every time we meet as American Legionnaires. So the image, the message, the duty, we want to take action in all those areas and continue on with the good fight. September is coming. We are just getting into August, really. This is the last week of July as I'm recording this. We're getting into August here shortly. And, September, we've got some things coming up, some very special days. Baton Day, I talked to Pete Hurt, our adjutant, about Baton Day and the Maywood Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to have at least our post, Billy Caldwell, but this is the 9th District, and we want everybody to rally around these. These days are sacred. Baton Day, POW MIA Day is coming up, also 9/11, Patriots Day, and then Constitution Day. Now, Constitution Day is a school thing to where all the schools are supposed to be teaching on the Constitution on that day. I mean, a year ago, coming on Constitution Day was when I spoke with the principals on the northwest side of Chicago at the Chicago Police 16th District. And I was promoting our oratorical contest, and I was promoting our essay contest, etc. Now, a couple of good relationships came out of that. They really did. However, in fact, the group of young people from Rickover Naval Academy I met their principal at that particular meeting on Constitution Day, 2019. So the point being this is we don't know with this pandemic and et cetera and the politics if what the status of the schools is going to be in September. I don't know. We don't know. But we as American Legionnaires, we need to promote that regardless. And I'm asking for help. I'm asking for all of us to do what we can to go ahead and get the word out that these educational institutions are supposed to be teaching about the Constitution. Period. End of story. That's non-negotiable. So anyway, September's coming. We've got some very significant sacred days. All of our military and historic days are very special. And but I just wanted to go ahead and bring that up. So the last thing, I guess, is that I just want for the 9th District to have a larger presence and have our voice heard pertaining to all of these very special events in our calendar. So with that, God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America. For God and country, thank you. Bye.